Welcome everyone to the 2021 ROMA conference and to our MPAC update. My name is Al Spajic and I'm the board chair of the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation. For this presentation, I'm pleased to be joined by our president and CEO, Nicole McNeil, and our vice president and COO, Carmela Lipsey. We're sorry we can't be together in person, but we hope you are staying safe and we very much look forward to the day when we can be together again. We know 2020 was an extraordinary year for municipalities because of COVID-19. Many of you faced public health and financial pressures unlike anything we've ever experienced. As a former mayor myself, I can only imagine what an extraordinary effort it has been. At MPAC, our intention since COVID-19 hit has been to be right there with you, supporting you in every way we can. The pandemic has changed so much about our work and our lives. It's changed property assessment too. When we were all together for this conference last year, we were preparing for the 2020 assessment update that would have updated assessments from a date of January 1st, 2016 to January 1st, 2019. We were ready to go when COVID hit. The update was postponed by the Ontario government, and we quickly turned our attention to responding to the immediate needs of our municipal partners. We met early with our municipal liaison group to hear what municipalities needed from us, and the message was clear. Don't stop capturing new assessment because municipalities need it to generate new tax revenue and maintain cash flow. Adjust some timelines and offer a levy payment deferral. We did all of those things and more. We offered a one-time levy deferral. We found savings to deliver a total levy increase of 0% for 2021 with no reduction in our services. We altered some of our timelines to meet your needs, including taking 2 extra weeks to capture new assessment at the end of 2020, and it worked. In 2020, new assessment totaled over $37 billion. We were able to do it by working with you and finding innovative ways to gather information safely. We know the pandemic will continue in the short term. We will keep adapting to meet the needs of municipalities and the province of Ontario. Our board of directors and staff are currently developing our next strategic plan, and the needs and priorities of you, our municipal partners, are at the center of those discussions. We will continue to focus on new assessment this year, building on the new processes we've developed to work safely and efficiently. And we're working in collaboration with municipalities and the Ontario government to transform what we've learned from this global pandemic into positive long-term changes for the sector and our business. We will continue to leverage technology and are committed to doing more with less and finding new ways of doing business. We also want you, our municipal partners, to help us imagine the future. So please continue to share your experience and ideas with us. In closing, I want to thank you for your commitment to safeguarding our communities. Stay well, and now it's my pleasure to hand things over to our CAO, Nicole McNeil. Thank you.
Thank you, Al, and thank you to all of you. Even before COVID-19, we understood how critical our municipal relationships are. And that's not just with Ontario's 444 municipalities, but our municipal association partners too. In 2020, those relationships were crucial to our response to the pandemic. We kept a constant conversation going, and in collaboration with municipalities, we found new ways to work that are changing how we assess property. While many construction projects kept operating during the shutdowns, we were challenged to find new ways to assess new construction differently. We built a safe way for municipalities with access to digital building plans to share them electronically. We also launched a curbside pickup program to collect building plans without needing access to municipal offices. And we modified the way we conduct on-site property inspections where needed and provided safety training and PPE to our staff. One day, with hope, we won't need to do curbside pickups anymore, but some of the innovations we've created during the pandemic will shift the way we work permanently. We will continue to look for ways to support digitization and electronic submissions of documents. It's more efficient for municipalities and we can do our work faster. We're also investing in better digital imagery from multiple sources to help us assess certain types of renovations and validate information in remote areas faster and more efficiently. The pandemic and the postponement of the 2020 assessment update also forced us to reevaluate our strategic and operational goals. With our focus on supporting municipalities, we made the decision to accelerate the in-house design of a new version of Municipal Connect, which is our municipal data sharing portal and a key way for municipal staff to manage your assessment bases. As an organization that moved to cloud computing several years ago with a remote work policy in place, we were all set up to rapidly and dramatically shift our priorities as our staff moved to working remotely, basically over a weekend in March. Our IT team built a new version of Municipal Connect in-house with improved functionality, a modern interface with geospatial mapping, and increased data security. We're really excited to be launching the new system next month, and we will offer a demo here at our MPAC booth during the conference. Also, there's more to come. Our next phase of the project includes expanding the way municipalities can use MPAC data, and in the long term, we envision Municipal Connect as a hub for municipalities of all sizes, where they can share ideas, best practices, and ways to make our communities stronger and better. While the pandemic has changed property assessment and the way we do our work, there are things that have remained consistent too. Even though the 2020 assessment update was postponed, we followed through on updating Ontario's 5.4 million properties to reflect a 2019 valuation date. It was important to us that we do that so that, number one, we can provide the government with the insight it needs to determine when the next assessment update should take place. And number two, we need to be ready whenever we're called upon. We don't know right now when the next assessment update will be or what the valuation date will be, but we are keeping our property data up to date, monitoring the market, and readying our systems for it. As soon as we know, we will share that information with you. And now it's my pleasure to turn things over to our Chief Operating Officer and Vice President of Valuation and Customer Relations, Carmelo Lipsy.
Thank you, Nicole. What we achieved this year couldn't have been possible without our municipal partners. As we proposed new ways to share information so that we could continue to assess new construction during the pandemic, your municipal staff were there to help. Last year, 205 municipalities submitted over 16,000 digital building plans to us, most utilizing our newly developed safe and secure online portal, and many more providing paper plans through our curbside pickup program. At the request of our municipal liaison group, we altered our year-end timeline so that we could take 2 extra weeks to capture new assessment at the end of the year. And the result was over $4 billion more new assessment captured for the year. We had to delay some of our year-end products to support this request, and your staff adapted to make this happen. This end result is something we're proud of. Even during the pandemic, we captured over $37 billion in new assessment, resulting in new tax dollars for municipalities at a time when we know it's needed. On December 15th, we delivered 2021 assessment rolls to every municipality in Ontario. As Nicole said earlier, even during the pandemic, construction was still happening across the province. I want to take a few minutes sharing some of those highlights with you. First, we reached a new milestone. In 2020, we surpassed over $3 trillion in total property value in Ontario, and that's across 5.4 million properties of all types. And these totals will continue to grow in 2021. Almost 74% of that value and 90% of those properties are residential. Taking a closer look at the $37 billion of new assessment added last year, $18.5 billion was attributed to new residential properties by way of new construction, additions, or alterations. New residential condominium sector continues to grow with more than $13.3 billion added. The commercial sector exceeded $2.5 billion, followed closely by industrial with more than $1.7 billion. And farm properties also contributed quite significantly with slightly more than $850 million of new assessment added. Taking a closer look at the $3.2 billion of new assessment added last year for small and rural municipalities, $2.3 billion was attributed to new residential property by way of new construction, additions, and alterations. The commercial sector exceeded $159 million, followed by the industrial sector with more than $105 million. And farm properties continue to contribute significantly with over $414 million added. We added over 50,000 new homes to municipal assessment rolls in 2020. Most of them were detached, followed by condominiums, townhomes, semi-detached, and seasonal homes as well. Condominiums continue to be one of the fastest growing residential property types in larger urban areas like the GTA, Ottawa, and London. With the limitations on travel, waterfront and seasonal properties continue to attract a lot of interest. Here are the top 10 municipalities for new assessment related to seasonal properties in 2020, with the highest activity in the townships of Muskoka Lakes, Lake of Bays, and Seguin. Again, with a small town lens, here are the top 10 municipalities for total new assessment in 2020, with representation from across Southern and Central Ontario. Town of the Blue Mountains led with over $150 million in new assessment. Breaking that down a little bit further, but again with a small town rural lens, here are the top 10 municipalities for residential new assessment in 2020. Once again, the Blue Mountains led this group with over $106 million of new residential assessment. Before we returned assessment rolls to municipalities at the end of 2020, we mailed over 875,000 property assessment notices to property owners across the province. These notices reflected changes that occurred during the year. In 2020, there were over 420,000 ownership changes, almost 300,000 school support changes, and about 300,000 mailing address changes. Along with those, there was about 400,000 changes that were related to property value or classification. In non-reassessment update years, we typically mail 800,000 to 900,000 property assessment notices annually, and those notices capture well over 1.5 million changes to our database. As many of you know, our service level agreement, established in collaboration with municipal staff, is our commitment to all municipalities to maintain high performance standards. We heard from municipalities that you need stability when you receive our products, reports, and inquiry responses back from MPAC. The SLA formalizes our commitment to service delivery, and municipalities can monitor our performance through Municipal Connect. It's one of the ways we are accountable to you. Across 12 measured service levels, including but not limited to new assessment forecasts and updates, municipal inquiries, processing of tax and vacancy applications, and severances and consolidations, we met 90% of all service level targets in 2020. Adjusting some of our timelines so we could capture as much new assessment as possible did impact our performance measures last year. That said, we made a significant improvement in our area of property severances and consolidations, improving those results and that performance from 47% in 2019 to 92% in 2020. Last month, we published our 2020 Municipal Partnerships Report that details all the work we were able to accomplish last year. We really did a lot together. I encourage you to visit our virtual booth, where we have a link to the report, and our staff are available to meet with you. You can also find the report on our website at mpac.ca. In closing, even though our offices are closed right now, we're still working in communities across the province, and our municipal and stakeholder relations team is available to support you locally and here at the conference. If you want us to attend a local council meeting, please let us know. And I encourage you to read our monthly e-newsletter, In Touch. And we regularly connect with your municipal staff through our municipal webinars. We hosted 15 webinars last year with over 4,400 attendees. And although some of them are geared toward municipal staff who use our products and services, we always encourage you to attend what interests you. And if you like, you can review the events after the fact on our YouTube playlist. From all of us at MPAC, thank you for all the work you're doing to support our communities during COVID-19. Stay well, stay safe, and enjoy the conference.